the Nazi terror begins. The date is January 30th, 1933, and Adolphus Hitler, commonly known as Hitler, becomes Chancellor of Germany. Almost immediately, Hitler would strike and put together a one-day dictatorship for Germany and become all-powerful so he can organize Nazi policies. Hitler must convince his peers to declare a state of emergency and remove individual freedom. With this removal, people will lose their freedom of the press, speech, and assembly. All privacy for all citizens is removed, meaning people's mail and phone calls would be monitored by officials. These officials were even permitted to search any private houses without a warrant. Hitler used terror to get what he wanted. Thousands of men were lured with wages, a feeling of comradeship, and the striking uniforms to become Nazis. The Nazi apparel included brown shirts and leather boots of the Nazi stormtroopers, called Sturmbatelgenen, or SA for short. Just the thought of the SA made any non-Nazi Germans go into silence. A little over 2 months after Hitler gains power, he uses it to replace the current government officials with Nazi appointees. His goal was to achieve total Nazi control in Germany. A leading Nazi named Hermann Göring becomes Minister-President of Prussia, the biggest German state. With this progression, by 1935, state administrators are moved to the central government of Berlin. Just 32 days after Hitler begins to make his fellow Nazis become government officials, stormtroopers and police take over the offices of trade unions. Trade union officials and activists are traumatized. All assets in the trade union's records are gone. And now the union is forcibly merged with the Nazis, which as a result, independent labor representation is dissolved. Almost 3 months later, the Nazi Party becomes the only allowed political party in Germany. With this, Germany is now a one-party dictatorship. Nazi membership will jump to 2.5 million in 1935 and 8.5 million in 1945. Just 6 days later, Hitler signs a treaty with the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, with the highest authority. The treaty allows Catholics freedom of private religious practice, but disallows Catholic political and trade union organizations. The Vatican, which had sovereign state status, was the first state to recognize Hitler's government as legitimate. But of course, disobeying the treaty, Nazis continued to use Catholic religious and cultural organizations, priests, and schools.